Okay. I'm sure at the moment I'm talking to no one, but I will get started as if I am in case anyone's watching or they watch the replay and want to see what's going on. So, straight off the bat, my name's James. I'm a music composer from Melbourne, and I wanted to start sharing and streaming some of the composition drills and exercises that I do to stay sharp and work on my skills. I know I've always felt like it's way too hard to go out and find drills to do that are fun and practically useful. So my hope is that it'll help a few other composers who are looking for stuff to do that they want to try out, and try it out for yourselves and see if it helps. It's also just good for me because I don't do enough of them in the first place, so I want to get to doing more, and this is a good excuse. So the quick one that I'm going to talk about today is talking about composing with contour, basically melody writing and motive writing based on contour. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about contour? Basically thinking of like a city skyline or the profile of a mountain range. We're basically talking about this sort of horizontal shape, like a line like that, or think of a heartbeat on a, if you're watching a Grey's Anatomy or something and someone's heart's beating and then they flat line. These sort of horizontal shapes that we can use to guide our melodic arc, our direction basically, whether we're going up, going down, staying at the same level, and having different combinations of them before we actually start writing melodies. The thing that's really good about this exercise and using contours is it sort of frees you up before you start writing the notes, gives you a bit of a framework to follow. And as you'll see when we start doing it, it's really not restrictive. It really is just used as a prompt. And from there, you can do all sorts of things from the one contour. It's also really useful for if you are doing something like film scoring or writing the picture or something where you want the music to fit something, a concept, like a concept of a climb or a downfall or something like that, that you can actually put that into the melody. If you might want to have someone who's sort of struggling to get past something and they keep breaking through but not quite breaking through, and then they break through. You can tell the story in the contours, and you can do that just thinking about it beforehand before you get writing into your composition, which can sort of help you with a starting point, and a bit of some bumpers to keep you on track with the idea that you're trying to get across. So that's the basic idea. So let's get into doing some if the screen pops up. So this is the way I like to do the drill. The first step is basically to draw some contours. And I like to split it up instead of, sometimes, it's easy to draw a contour and then write some melodies. I feel like that works really well and it's a good thing to do. I like to split it up from the melody writing and the contour writing because I feel like you can get into, you start drawing some shapes and you can I get into it and start to do things that are a little less standard or whatever as I go. Once I feel like the sixth contour I write is often more interesting than the first one. So I'll start writing some contours. So, we can do some simple ones. Let's just do a little peak. You can do the inverse of that. Do a little sine wave. Maybe something like that. Something that has a couple of lower bits and then reaches the top. One that goes up quickly and then slowly down. Little smiley face. Let's do and then finishes up. What else can we do? What are some funny shapes? If anyone's, I see there are a few people watching. Any ideas? Chuck it in the chat. Do like a Big Dipper. What about going down and then straight up and down? That's an interesting one. So you just fill up the page with some shapes. Don't worry if you repeat yourself. So there are some, and then we could have one going up and then flat. So there we've got a bunch of contours. Sorry, the low ones aren't on the screen, so that's forget about them. They just did a sort of straight line, which is going across, and then one that went up, and then a straight line there. So that's the first thing I like to do. Then just circle a few that you want to work with. So let's see. Let's do. Let's do that one for a nice simple one. We could do the quickly up and then slowly going down. And then this one, I like the look of this one. So let's take those three and we'll use them to write some contours. So we'll take the first one here, so the little smiley face. And then the third step is to basically just write some melodies from that contour. So the way that we work here, so we're going to go with that little smiley face here. So I'll just put the contour down there so it's clear. And we can really do whatever we want. This can apply to a short few note motive. It can apply to a melody that's 2 or 4 bars long. It can even apply to longer phrases, sort of 8-bar phrases, 16-bar phrases, to keep you in track of where you want the whole phrase to arc. In this case, I'm going to keep it shorter. But yeah, you can really use this as a guideline for all sorts of melodic writing. So let's do a couple. So let's just keep it simple in C major, and we're going to start up here. The other thing is with the rhythms and stuff, you can do rhythm first, you can do rhythm after. It really doesn't matter. You can write the notes and then try a bunch of different rhythms. It really doesn't matter. So sometimes I like to just start writing, see how it goes, see what comes out, and yeah, keep it fairly simple. So I mean, we've got the lines here. So what if we sort of start from, we'll just do the notes first on this one. Okay, so let's say we've got that. So what sort of rhythm thinking? Okay, so we've got I'll put this in 2/4, and I'm hearing so I'm hearing something like that. So it's oh, whoop, that's not right. Yeah, so there's and I think it'll actually be more interesting playing it back. I might actually make it more. That's more interesting. So let's change these. I'm going to add a little note there. So, something like that. That's a melody. So there's one. All right, so we've done one. Now let's do something a little different. So we've got that sort of triplet feel for that one. Let's write one a bit more, that's a bit more flowy. maybe we'll do this one in a minor. So let's keep it in C, we'll do it in C minor. What am I doing? Yeah. Okay, so we can use very similar notes here. Maybe, what if we do something like that? Something a bit creepy. So we're going 1. So here we go. I've got to get the natural there. So this little creepy melody. That's, there's a little 2-part, no? That could be a little theme for some sort of creepy thing. And then, of course, what we'll do in other things is developing. One of the most fun things to do, I think, is writing melodic ideas and then rinsing them through a bunch of development techniques and stuff like that. So that is, we'll be able to take these and what we use here and play with them more, and like play with the rhythms, play with the time signature, play with the shape, play with the direction, all that sort of stuff. So that is, at this point, we're just sort of using this contour to generate some ideas. So let's do one more for this one, or that probably demonstrates it pretty well. I mean, let's do one more where this uses very similar sort of intervals, both of them. So let's do one which is using slightly larger intervals, just to get the idea across that it doesn't have to be a certain way. It doesn't need to match up to the length here of what you've drawn. It's just an idea of, we want it to go down and we want it to go up. In this shape, it's sort of going up about as much as it's going down. If you did it like that, then maybe it wouldn't go up. But that's just we're using the contour that we've written just to give us some rules and some boundaries for what we're trying to do. So let's do another one. Let's do it, I don't know, let's do G major. And let's think of what can we do rhythmically to make it a little bit different as well from what we've done. Let's make it slower as well. Let's go a lot slower. So we've basically got one or two 4/4 bars really across both. So let's do something a bit slower. And let's not start on the tonic, let's start on the E. So we'll just do notes first. I'm just thinking through. So the other thing is, I'm trying to think of the melody I want to write. You can really just write notes as well if you want and see how it sounds. So if we go down in, we'll just go down in these thirds and then come back up. So what if we do something like that? So we've got these notes. So we're in G major. So that's our key. So we're starting on the 6th. Maybe it makes more sense to not go to the tonic there, but who cares? We'll just keep it here. Maybe put a passing note there. So let's try something like that. So we're going to go in 2/2. So we go. So we go 1, 2. Then there we go. Turn that to that. Let's do that. Alright, so there's our melody. As you can see, the contour is still going woo and then down. So starting high, finishing at pretty much the same point, and the melody sounds like. And of course we can start to, whenever we want, we can start to harmonize, start playing with harmony. You can start playing around with that. It's something there to work with. It's come from this contour. So yeah, easy, good fun. Now we'll change another color. Let's do this contour. This big jump up and then down, it goes relatively slowly. So like, whoop, there we go. So let's do some to this. I'll keep the color blue just so it's a bit different from the one before. And we're going to jump up. Let's go E minor. Maybe we'll do, or actually no, maybe it will be something, maybe this one will be more trying to say. Let's do 1. Okay, so say. Okay, so these are triplets. The other thing when you're doing this stuff is it is always a good idea to mark up the melody with what you're thinking. So here I'm thinking this is, and probably staccato as well. And then these are, okay, so it's like a, so a big triumphant sort of thing. Sorry, I got my chord in the way. That's not right. And as you can see, we've got the melody. It goes up quick and then gradually drops down back to where it started, which is what we've got here. So that's it. No, then that's a melodic idea. I don't know that I'm going to come, like when I was writing that one, I feel like that sort of scalar pattern, I feel less likely to use it. It's used all the time in all sorts of well-known melodies and film melodies, so it's something that I tend not to do as much of. I'll sort of go away from for some stupid reason. No need to, and this sort of frees me up to do it. Let's do another one. Let's sort of go up a bit more slowly, but then sort of really meander back down. So we'll go, and this one we will do in A minor. Let's do it in D minor. Let's do 3, 4. And let's not go quite as big. I mean, it's obviously we went the octave jump at the start of that one. Let's go something a bit smaller, but still creep down. So if we do, We've got something like this. So we're in D minor. So again, we've got the contour. We're going up, not quite as quickly, but it's going up in a bar, and then we're going back down over the course of 3 bars. So jumping up, going down, doesn't have to be literally exactly as it's drawn, just to give you the idea. So you can play around with whatever there. So that's the basic idea. Writing with contour, using the contours to just let you come up with different things. You can see how different these melodies are, in particular. I mean, the first ones, we deliberately did the first ones being quite simple, or whatever we'll do after that, and so that's quite similar. They could live in the same world, but then very different to the first melody, different in mood, can be orchestrated differently, can be harmonized differently, and then these two are very different. And completely different, same contour, so you can really come up with a bunch of different stuff. It sort of frees you up. You're just focusing completely on the shape. You don't have to worry about what you're writing for, this or that. You can write contours based on what you're writing for, and then trust that if you just follow the contour, that will take care of it. All sorts of things you can do. So if this is really good if you want to try and break out of the mold of the type of melodies that you write. If you tend to write lots of conjunct motion, or lots of adjunct motion, or lots of easier going up, big leaps, whatever it is, you can get yourself out of that, get yourself going in different directions, and just have fun with it. And it really works well for me. And then we take these melodies that we've written here today, and we can then move them over and start to develop them. We can use them, we can write counterpoint with them, we can orchestrate them. There are all sorts of things we can do once we start to generate lots of stuff, lots of melodic content, which we can then go and do other composition drills from there, which is what I'll be doing in the coming days and weeks. So yeah, that's basically it for today. I'm glad that I got to do a couple of exercises. I'll do more with these melodies. I might even use these melodies. I'm actually today I'm going to be writing some somber stuff for a TV library, where something like this that might actually work quite well. So I might actually use that. So that's the fun of it. Thanks to whoever's watching, and yeah, come back soon if you want to see more of these. Thank you.